AV Life is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Audinate, Crestron, Panasonic, and Sennheiser. Thank you so much for your support.
Greetings from a very warm Kansas City. This is AV Renee KC, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hello, everyone. I'm coming at you from Southern California, sunny, always summer, Southern California. This is Murphy Daly, AV veteran project manager and part of the crew here at the AV Life.
Hey, this is Nancy Blanchard, and I'm from Williams AV, and excited to be on here this evening, talking, discussing, having fun. And you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
James King here, writer for the Higher Ed Digital Magazine, the IT and AV column. Ensing Hepma, co-host of Ask the Program. Google me, you'll find me, and you are watching and listening to AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert, coming at you from the great state of New Jersey, which could be argued by other people that I know. But I am also from Rutgers University, from HETMA, from higheredav.com. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right, we are back. We are in our homes, and not at Infocom or anything like that. So, but we are back at it here. Playing a little catch up with some of the episodes that are out there, so you'll be seeing those coming along. But I think by the time this comes out, you would have caught everything. So it is July 3rd as you're listening to this episode. So happy early 4th of July to our listening audience out there. It's a little weird that we're even saying that right now. Does it not feel like end of June, late July, early July?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I remember saying a month ago, I can't believe it's almost Infocom, and now it's like, oh, Infocom's been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well,
The
today
weather
I kept
here-
thinking it was Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm totally off.
The weather here has been oddly cool. In fact, there was so much rain this summer that my tree got athlete's leaf.
It
That's
got
what I'm calling it.
fungus. You got
Yes,
fungus on the.
it's called. Oh, what's it called? Something like gray mildew or something.
Ugh.
And I was like, oh, my tree has got like fuzzy mold on it. And I thought once it like dried up, because it had been raining even in the middle of June, I thought once it dried up, it would, but no, it turns out the cure for it is to spray water with baking soda in it, which is a pretty easy cure, but it's just a lot of so.
Yeah.
But my tree has athlete's foot because it rained so much.
Tough acting, pow. It's just,
Right.
maybe don't do that, but yeah. So we're it's so weird how this just kind of it didn't spring up on us, but yeah, I feel like this year is just flying by entirely.
Yeah.
And I'm just like recovering from the full week of Infocom, and then the full week of helping my wife move the day camp into their summer building for camp. And then I got back to work yesterday, and it was like, ugh. It's like 2 weeks nonstop, and it's like, all right back to it. A lot of vacation time, but no vacation.
We're good.
Do we ever vacation? I mean, the
Well-
only time I really vacation is on a Disney cruise because I don't pay for Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Well, there you go. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. And it's funny. I actually, if you've been watching TikTok as of late, I've been doing my Walking with Tim episodes. There's a few up there now. I've actually every other day or so I've been doing one. And the one the one I did today was we were talking about taking the vacation time and actually taking it off. I've been having that conversation along with a couple of my colleagues over the last few days, and it was like, you know what, I need to say that. And I know, James, you have your 24-hour disconnect challenge that that you've always asked people to do. But I definitely, it's something to really consider. Like you're given sick time and you're given vacation time to use, and so you shouldn't be working on those days. Like I know it's easy now. We've made it easy, but it's something that we shouldn't be doing.
No, we definitely shouldn't be working. And this also goes back to putting trust into your team and stuff. I actually had to give kudos to my team because this is the first time in my career that I have gone away from work for an extended period of time, either vacation, conference, whatever. InfoComm is the first time that I did not get a call or an email of the place being on fire. I was
Are you
with people who
concerned?
gotten that. No, nope. I knew they had it taken care of. I saw some things come across emails. There was one time sensitive thing that I had to address, and it was actually a good thing, was our governor, while I was at InfoComm, signed into legislation Juneteenth off, which took effect that Monday. So I
Wow.
had to make sure my team knew they had that Monday off.
Eh.
Other than that, they had everything taken care of, and I did not need to respond to anything.
That's a governor that really lives by the last minute.
Well, there's a lot of things I'm learning about Nevada history out here, and my understanding is they do all their budgeting and legislation every 2 years.
Oh.
So yeah, even like when they put in for positions and stuff for state employees, you basically are budgeting for 2 years.
Hmm.
So I'm still learning, so I could be
different.
misspeaking there, but that's what I'm kind of hearing.
Hmm.
All right, so I'll say that's definitely interesting considering, yeah, like every year here in New Jersey, we're constantly, I feel like we're constantly fighting over the budget and what it's going to be. And that's not just a like Rutgers thing. That's a state thing. Like there's always a discussion about the budget. So, but yeah, so the short of it is take your time and really like, if you're sick, please just take care of
Yeah.
yourself and, prioritize yourself. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's hard. It really is a mindset because I'm guilty of it.
no, I'm guilty of it too.
We're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
Every
It's
one of
become,
us.
technology has become so easy for us to be connected like that. It used to be, yeah, you'd leave and you'd put your out of office message on your voicemail and that was enough. You'd
Well-
walk away from the office and no one would, if you had a pager, you were you were the most connected person.
Yeah.
But
But really, Tim, what's
Wow.
9 to 5? I do answer emails on the weekend.
Right.
So when I
Mhm.
was working for a rep firm here in Northern California, some of my integrators, or Murphy, maybe you can even relate to this, is that they had projects, they had designs, and they would reach out on the weekend, and I would answer them immediately. Because I
Oh.
just didn't feel like, okay, well, I'll wait till Monday because that's officially when I can't do that.
This book, this manuscript that I'm
Yeah.
editing and finalizing, the AV Project Manager Handbook, there's a thing in there talking about tracking the bill of materials equipment for a project. And I said, it's a good idea to know when your main manufacturers, what time zones they're in, so that you can place an expedited RMA and get it in time to keep the project going.
yeah,
So like, hey, if they're on the East Coast, a ton of them are in Orange County. So knowing like when they can get the order and ship it the last minute, you can make your plans like, yes, it'll get there tomorrow. And you pay extra for the 10 a.m. shipping and it can keep going. Or if not, you go, okay, we know already before we even started that next day is a wash. So don't anybody come in and tell the customer that, project's not happening. It's going to be dark tomorrow because we don't have equipment. We'll be back the next day. That kind of thing. Got to be extremely aware of those time zones.
I agree.
That's a really good point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, being aware of time zones are definitely important. Also, being aware of your teams or who you're working with schedule. I actually started doing and being mindful of because I'm like Nancy, like I'm always on the clock. That's just how my mind works. That's what works best for me. But I also want to make sure my team is, respecting that work-life balance and stuff. So instead of, maybe an email came in now or something might pop in my head, say, hey, I need one of my guys to take care of this. Instead of sending the email now, I actually write the email and hit the little schedule. And I schedule for when their shift is. Like I had a
Oh,
student
wow.
worker who is actually overseas on a family vacation. There's things I need him to do. So what I did was I actually schedule it for the day he returns. So that email, even though I wrote it maybe 2 weeks ago, it's gonna go to him when he's on the clock.
That's a good one. I use that timed
That's
sending all
very
the time.
good.
Yeah.
I do not. I've never used that feature.
It's a little
It's
tricky,
something you
but
gotta be
once you figure it
mindful
out.
of. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta be mindful of it. So I don't use it as much as I should, but I make it more of a purpose now. I'll look at when I write an email and be like, all right, is this something that needs to be sent out this second, or can I schedule it?
Well, yeah. And then also like, okay, if you go, oh, I know this person is gonna projects all the time. I know, are we already, or did we slide into an accidental PM minute?
You know,
I
it's
think we
funny. I
did.
was just
Yes.
thinking maybe we
Okay.
should
We
take this
did.
opportunity to move into a PM minute. So
But that's, yeah. So here you go. If you're paying attention to that, as I know, like, hey, I know this is going to happen. And I know this is like, I have a weekly project review meeting with my team. So what I do is I will make the notes from the last one. It was on Monday, make the notes on the last one. I take the frame of the notes, which is the list of all our projects, and send out to everybody like the work day before the next meeting and say, and I schedule it. So I do it right then. And I schedule it to go like the morning of the workday before. So they have time to go in it and they're reminded. And I say, hey, everybody, here's the agenda for the meeting on X day. Like this particular day, it's on Wednesday instead of Monday because Monday is a holiday at our place. We're getting that day off. Thank you. Thank you, corporate. But I said, this is the meeting agenda. Please update your project status and be prepared to discuss. Here you go. And they rely on that. They're reminded and they all do it. It's their habit. But I have to do that nudge. I'm like, if you know, why should I have to remind you? But I do that nudge and I do it easily for me by scheduling that. And I don't even have to worry about it. It's all rolled in.
It's called we're parents. It doesn't matter whether it's work or whether it's personal. We are moms till the end.
That's true.
I was gonna say, I think it's just being
The
in any
mom
sort of
thing.
relation, in any sort of
Yeah.
relationship, because I get the nudge from my wife. So yeah,
Great.
Wives,
Yeah.
moms, yeah, all the
And you
time.
probably nudge her from time to time.
I don't usually need to do that. No, she's more on point about things than I
Okay.
am.
Well,
That actually reminds me of a meme I saw. It's a little dark, but it's a good one. It's old couple married for 25 years, have never had an argument. So one of the husband's friend asked him, how is this? You've been married for 25 years. How have you have not had a single argument? And the husband responded, well, we went to a ranch for our honeymoon and we were riding some horses, and my wife's horse jumped and bucked her off. So she got up, patted the horse, and goes, this is your first time. Throughout the ride, the horse bucked her off again. She got up, patted the horse, and goes, this is your second time. Later on, third time, wife gets up, pulls a gun out, shoots the horse. I yell at my wife, go, what, are you crazy? You just killed that horse. She looked at me and goes, this is your first time.
Oh,
hey.
I wouldn't mess with that lady.
Yeah, no.
That's kind of like that one part in The Art of War where the Chinese general and the concubines, training them all to be soldiers. Yep. Yeah. Don't push it.
So
Just
don't
get
push.
in line faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta nudge just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Mm,
Or nudge when appropriate. There you go.
yeah.
And don't
Yeah.
get shot, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know when, be aware of the line and don't cross it.
Yep. Well, that worked out. Well, yes, that worked out very nicely, Murphy.
It does.
Thanks, James. Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, as it's becoming July, as you're hearing this, I mean, it's summertime. Uh, you think, at least in my world, I always hope that summer means things are going to slow down, but that doesn't usually mean that at all. I think in higher ed, summer has a whole nother meaning, and not even just in higher ed, but also, home life as well. Like things just keep going and going. So I mean, so what's going on this summer? Putting it out to the crew. What do we got? What do we got on the agenda here? I mean, I'm hoping some people are gonna have some fun, because I'm not until like October, November. So
See,
Somebody should be
didn't-
having fun.
I'm the same. With all the travel I did, and that was me with my schedule because I was trying to meet up with a whole bunch of consultants. So my manager just asked me on Monday, he said, "So what travel do you have next?" And I said, "Nothing except for PSNI at the end of July. I'm not planning anything because
Me neither.
a lot of places are very hot. So like Dallas,
oh,
I think I'll be picking up travel again in the fall, but I'm looking forward to September the 17th when I get on a transatlantic Disney cruise.
nice.
My favorite.
England,
Lucky.
ending in
This-
New York City.
Ooh, that's nice. This is going to be a very odd summer for me, because this is going to be my first summer where I don't really have a major project going on. I mean, our building is
mean
brand
personal?
new. No, even at work.
Oh,
Like our
oh.
building is brand new. So it's not like the equipment needs to be updated. So we're not doing that. So it's very eerie for me that I don't
Is
have a
soccer
huge-
done?
Well, no, I mean, personal stuff. They're on a break right now, so they'll start picking up soon. And then I have a lot going on. Like I still got to fix things within the building, but it's like we're not doing new rooms, we're not doing upgrades or renovations or new building. I mean,
Yeah.
last summer I was head deep into a brand new building opening, plus a new job. So like I said, this summer is going to be eerie for me, very eerie.
Are you doing any staycations?
Probably not. I know we talked about, but thing is, they're still having the resort fee here in Vegas. So I mean, even you look at a hotel, you're looking at maybe $300 a night, with the resort fees and everything. So it's like, why bother?
No.
Well, that's
understandable.
something I hope they could fix when we come back to Vegas for Infocom, because like
Yes,
I
I hope so.
they're charging like $40 a night, and they're like, oh well, that's for this, that, and the other thing. I say, well, I'm not
We
there
aren't using
for-
those things.
I'm not using those things. Like
Yeah,
we're in a day and age where like you could just shut that access off to my card. Like if it's a matter of getting into the gym and you gotta swipe to
Exactly.
get it, then don't give me access to the gym, because I'm not gonna
right.
use like
Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
that reminds me of another meme, but I'll tell you that one all fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this will be a weird year for me. I've never worked for a company that took a week off as a summer break and everybody was off. Offices were
wow.
closed and
Oh,
yeah.
really?
So I
I
get
never knew that.
Me either.
yeah, so I get we get Friday off as our free Friday for the month, and then obviously the holiday. So it's like a 5-day 5-day weekend, I guess. And then, come back, you work a week, and then the next week you're off for a week. It's like, what now? What?
Like the
Lovely.
last, was it the last week of July, or like the second to last week?
Yep, that second to last week. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so that's
Huh.
nice. And
That
Hey,
is nice.
Renee, do you need any
What am I gonna
consultant
do?
liaison over there?
I know. I know. They are very generous when it comes to taking good care of their employees, as far as,
That's great.
during the summer, Fridays we're off at a decent time. One Friday a month we're off. And they really do want you off. As a matter of fact, one Friday I was working and my girlfriend texted me and she said, I know you're still in your ex job mentality, but you can almost get in trouble here if you're working on a day off. Like they want you to go decompress and go take a deep breath and really step away. So I'm going to really have to,
Hmm.
unchain my brain and try to like actually step away. So I've got meetings scheduled Friday and I'm like, oh, I'm off Friday. I hope nobody finds out I got meetings. But yeah, it'll be different. Then I thought, well, if I would have planned this out, I could have planned a vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot that we did that because I forgot that that existed. So no vacation, but
Hmm.
maybe just relaxing.
Let me ask all of you, and like Renee, would you go locally on vacation? Because you've got the lakes and things around.
Yeah, you know what? I've got friends that live on lakes close. I got friends that live on lakes a couple hours away. Most of my friends have pools in their backyard. I mean, so for me to go,
Look at this. She's
Hey.
living in the land of water.
yeah,
I know,
that's-
yeah.
so
Everywhere.
for me to go, hey, I know it's Tuesday and I'm bored. Can I come lay in your backyard in your pool? I'd be like, okay, so yeah, I've got lots of options like that. It's just
Nice.
weird to me. I'm gonna have to get used to that. I'm still not used to the free Fridays being off, and I've been here 4 months. So, anyway.
Well, is this
So-
the funny thing of a remote worker forever? Because Williams decided to do the thing of where you work a certain amount of hours, 4 days a week, and then half a day on Friday, you take the rest off. And so they said, so who would be interested? Let us know, because we have to make sure that we have coverage. And I'm thinking, I've worked remote all my life. It doesn't matter if I have a Friday off. It's not something
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
be excited about. And I don't have a
Exactly.
lake because Minnesota, they all have their boats or lakes, they go fishing and all that. So I don't have that around here.
Not having to do with anything with summer plans. Well, it kind of does. So there was a article that I saw in a news report from Fox 5 here in New Jersey. There is a college student who lives in Charleston, and she is commuting by plane from Charleston up to Parsippany, New Jersey for her internship, because she only has to go into
What?
the office 1 day a week. And it's cheaper for her to catch those 2 flights once a week than to get an apartment in the New Jersey, New York area for the 2 months that she's doing the internship.
You have to
Does
be
she
kidding
sleep in
me.
the airport?
Wow.
And no, it's
Like, flies up and back.
whatever deal she's getting, because she's taking like the really early morning flight and the really late flight. So it's the cheaper flights. It's like, I think she said it was like $100.
Price lining it.
Yeah, or something. It's like it's like $100 round trip, and I think she's doing $100 for Uber from the airport and from the office and all that, and it works out cheaper than the rent of a sublet apartment in our area, which is so sad. Like that. I mean, but it also it
is
lends
bizarre.
to the amazing thing about being a remote worker is that you could do something like that. She said it wouldn't be sustainable long term, but it just made sense for a college student to do that. So
That is bizarre.
that
But
is-
wow.
I mean,
yeah.
only
That's
the
creative.
way-
That's a creative way to make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's looking ways to save money. I had a friend years ago when airlines checked bags were so costly.
Mm.
Well, he actually found out, because he was taking a vacation. He actually found out it was cheaper to UPS his luggage. So he actually UPS his luggage to where he was going, so he didn't have to check his bag.
Wow.
And then he also got tracking number and all that stuff with the luggage.
Something to consider.
And they probably handled it better
People
than the
getting
airline
creative.
did.
Oh, that's for fact. Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, was I the only one that heard so many nightmare stories for people flying this time around to InfoComm?
Oh, I heard everyone I talked to had a horror
Lots of
story about.
stories.
Well,
Yeah, I don't.
is that on the East Coast, in your area, Tim, of everybody having these issues?
I mean, it was from both coasts.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, now
Yeah, it's
I will
everybody.
say a lot of people leaving Saturday late morning, early afternoon got hit with whatever storm was coming through Florida. So that,
Yeah.
Yes.
but aside from that, there were just delays, lost luggage, and it was across the country. I think Mike Peterson had trouble. No, James, you were okay, but Frank
I
had
was-
a lot of trouble.
Frank and Rohan took 23 hours and 5 planes.
To get
To go
from
from
Vegas to
Vegas.
Orlando. Like,
Yep.
Just to get
It
there.
was-
Yeah.
That was crazy. His story, I would have given up. Listen to his story. That was
I would have
horrible.
given up because he only didn't
I-
he get to like to Salt Lake he didn't get very far, right?
Well, yeah,
Like
the
some
yeah, the
crazy-
one who they were over Utah and they had to return. But yeah.
this is
was
this
just
is
a-
lending me more credit to making sure I drive to Orlando for my vacation in November. So I'm definitely driving because at least it's in my control then when I can and cannot get there. So
Well, that's the 1 year with ISC 2020. And they had the bad storms in Europe. That was Dan Lee, I think Graham Kirkpatrick, or maybe not, but it was a bunch of AV folks that decided to carpool to drive to Amsterdam
Mm.
I
because
remember
all the
that.
flights were being canceled. And I went the day before and I was lucky because if I had went the day after, I wouldn't have made it either. So yeah, you just got to be creative.
Yep.
Tim, put out there and say, hey, gonna drive. Anybody want to join? Road trip. Get your
Taking a
Volvo
trip.
Tim
or
and-
whatever.
Tim
I
and
have to
Neto
bow
and
out.
Greenbutt. Bye, Murph.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
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 Murphy.
bye,
Murphy.
Murphy. Take care.
Yeah. We can see a road trip between Tim, Chris Neto, Steve Greenblatt.
Frank
That could be fun.
Paticella,
Yeah, Frank,
Jen,
Jen.
Jason,
Jen
Nerdy
who?
Girl. Nerdy Girl.
Oh,
Oh, that
yes,
Jen, yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking Weaver.
I get
Jennifer
Frank, I get
Weaver.
Frank, I get Frank, I
Gina.
get Gina, yeah.
Jason.
Oh, we're getting a
Um,
party bus. That's what's
David
gonna happen.
Donto. Oh my
Yep.
gosh. Get yourself
Oh
a big
man.
one.
Bray, you could probably pick up everyone as you're going across.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
Oh,
Yeah, you
And
got
I'll
Gina
fly there so I can
Santabera.
be part of it.
Who's gonna sponsor the AV Life road trip to Infocom 24?
there you go.
Yeah.
My only suggestion
Restaurant.
is don't go through Chicago or Colorado.
No,
That was a
I probably
horrible
do
trip.
like I probably do like the southern route, I think, or like a more like a straight across,
Yeah.
take
Oh, man,
take
that-
80 and then like cut down or something like that.
That would be fun.
That could be fun, yeah. I'd need like an extra week though to like do the do the road trip, and a week. Then I just, you know what? I would just leave whatever I'm driving in Vegas and fly home though, because I'm not doing it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's like
no, I could not do that twice.
we did the drive in 5 days, and that was we were planning 4. So 5 days was
Well,
I just had to do that for my family. So,
I
yeah,
thought maybe you were talking about Orlando, Vegas. I wouldn't even drive from here, San Jose to Vegas. No way.
Well, that's
'Cause
yeah,
you have to go through the
horrible.
mountains to get.
Yeah.
Orlando, or so Orlando of 2025 in Orlando.
Yeah,
That could be done in like 2 or 3 days. So
Yeah. I mean, hell, you could probably even get away with 1 day if you switch out drivers.
oh well, yeah, I know. Yes, you can definitely do that because I've done that before. But to do it not dying of sleep, it's 2 days.
Yep.
So all right, well, yeah, there you go. 2025 road trip.
Yeah.
So
there's
the
nice-
trip the trip in November's family. So it's all Disney for the week. So
Yeah. So
Well,
Tim,
I'll
I went
see you
to
guys there. I'm
Epcot.
getting there via plane.
Yeah. I was thinking of you the whole time when I was in Epcot. If I be okay in mentioning, I prefer Disneyland over Epcot was good. It was fun to do the drinking, have the champagne in France and things. And, I went home to the motherland to Canada over there. But there's just not really that much. And I only did Epcot.
right. Well, I don't have Disneyland to compare yet. So I got that
Oh.
that's still on the to-do list. So
Okay.
I gotta
You
take
let me know.
I gotta take my DVC points and transfer them over to like the Grand Californian or something like that. So
Yeah.
so that's on the bucket list to do that. So just
Okay. Well,
As-
whenever you decide, reach out and I can give you some information.
cool. I will say though, I definitely want to go to, I think it's the California Adventure Park because they have that drone light show that I saw like the the other day. Like somebody took a video of it, like it was a Marvel themed drone light show, and I was like, that's amazing, because that's the only thing like, of course Disney would be the one that would come up with how to make that work, and it just looked
Well,
phenomenal.
no, there's a lot of companies that actually do it.
Oh, I'm sure.
More,
Yeah.
yeah, more and more are going that route over fireworks, mainly because of environmental,
Mhm.
and you can do a lot more with the drones. I actually have a cousin who actually works for a company who does drone shows. But in Vegas, they did the drone show for the Stanley Cup. They did the logo of the Golden Knights over the stadium during the parade. And the funny enough is, I don't know how many follow the news from Vegas, but they're leading up to that week. There was a story of an alien sighting. in
Yes,
Vegas.
I followed
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry.
No,
I like
no, that's
UFOs.
fine.
I
The funny
did see
part
that.
though was they were practicing, the company that was doing the drone show for the show was practicing out. They have a field out up north Las Vegas, I believe, where they do all their practicing and testing and all that stuff. Well, as they're running, somebody called the cops saying they see the aliens again, which was a drone show. So the cops, of course, go up there to see what's going on, to know what's going on. And they're like, oh, we're just going to sit back and watch the drone show here.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
you know what? I agree with you, James, that I think drones would be more interesting because when I was at Epcot, as a DVC member, you can go up top of Contemporary,
Mhm.
or actually it's the Bay one,
Bay Lake. Yeah,
and
Bay
you
Lake
can watch
Towers.
it with the lounge and things. And it's like once you see one fireworks, you've seen them all. There's really nothing. And funny enough, my sons, since they were little, they don't like fireworks. I guess it's because of the noise and loud
Yeah.
and all of that.
See, my son likes the firework. He likes watching the fireworks, but yeah, he doesn't like the noise associated with it. So we always have his
Yep.
like headphones with us.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the summer's going, it's going by so quickly. I just can't get over it. So
Yeah, and everybody and all my coworkers are taking the vacation time off now too. So it's like I think on July 3rd, I believe I think there's two of us working, two or three of us working in the whole department out of 12. I think everybody else is on vacation.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely pushing that with my team. Like I have I think both of my team members are going to be off on the 3rd, and they're like, "Oh, is that going to be fine?" I'm like, yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
Take it off. We
I
got
think
coverage.
for us,
Don't
it's
worry.
just a time of, like, I don't know about you guys, but boy, even the people in my office have said it's taken so long to try to catch up after Infocom, like just the sheer weariness and
Mhm.
everything else.
No, I believe it. This as wonderful as this Infocom was, I feel like, yeah, it was draining on a whole nother level. And I don't know if that was like from an
Just-
emotional standpoint along with a physical standpoint, just because when you have like literally almost double the amount of people that you had in Vegas the previous year, like just that environment can be draining on somebody.
I
So,
think it's the anticipation, right? Because we had
well,
the
that too.
anticipation and then it goes down and it's go, go, go. I ordinarily couldn't handle that, but
Mhm.
it's like be at a booth meeting at 7 a.m. What?
Yeah.
Be at a breakfast meeting at 7:30 a.m. I'm not a morning person, so for me that was like, okay, set the alarm and just get out of bed immediately and go, go, go.
Mhm. Yeah, and I call it the retreat crash is what it is. And my wife and I used to get this all the time. And this was only from a 3-day weekend. We would go and help with these retreat weekends for high schoolers and then young adults, and we'd be gone from Friday to Sunday. But from Friday to Sunday, it's just go, 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 go. And then you get up and like Monday morning and you just got like, it's almost like you got a cold. Like you got a cold from just wearing yourself out for good reason, but like
Yeah.
you're done, you're spent. Like, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
do you
I had an
feel-
event last week and it was a golf event and it was a Thursday. I drove over on Wednesday and everybody was like, oh, why do they do this the week after InfoComm? And we're like, all the vendors are saying the same thing,
Yeah.
you know? And they said, well, you didn't think about it when they planned it. Well, we were all just dying, because you're in the heat all day golfing or, some are drinking. And it was just like, okay, by the time the awards deal came and we had dinner, it was like, okay, everybody, goodbye. It's like, we're
So,
do you feel that September is sort of like the startup again of running
this-
with shows?
I will take this 5-day weekend. Say that again.
Do you feel that September is sort of like the start again with running of shows and things? Because I've heard
think
like through
so.
my company of a wide variety of ones, and I'm not talking about the CEDIA commercial integrator one in September, but there's just so many different shows.
Yeah, September, October are going to be kind of crazy for sure.
Yeah.
so I have a question
And
for everyone here is, and I could be completely wrong here. So that's why I'm asking everyone. Has anyone on this show or seen, posted, or felt was sick after InfoComm? I'm not talking about COVID. I mean, just sick. I mean, usually I see after ISC and other trade shows, people saying, "Oh, I'm under the weather," but whatever they have. I haven't seen anybody post that they're under the weather.
Nope.
Anywhere.
Oh.
Not, I haven't
Oh.
either.
All right.
I
So
was just
okay, so it
saying,
wasn't
you-
just me.
The last
Yeah.
couple days, I've not felt great, but I mean, we're a week and a half since we left, so it's like I know it's not from InfoComm, but yeah, I agree. There was no talk like last year in Vegas, like we all left, and half the higher ed group, at least
Yeah.
half the higher ed group, came down with COVID, and then.
Yep.
But then there were
And-
other people that didn't get COVID, but they were sick and they were putting things up about that. But there was
Yeah.
no talk this time, and I didn't see it either.
I mean, even before COVID, like I would see posts of, people coming back from
Yeah.
InfoComm or ISC saying, "Oh, I'm sick," and it happens at trade shows. I mean, there was
Yeah.
even this year 29,000 people
Right.
there, so it's bound to happen. I just found it very odd that I didn't see anyone posting anything about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
We just brought
talked
that
about-
up because there's nothing anymore about COVID.
Yeah. Well, we had a
Yeah,
team
all the-
meeting yesterday and we were talked about that. Is like, did anybody complain about getting sick? And it's like, how funny, for all these years, we always come back from InfoComm and either had a sinus infection or we felt crappy. And then it was COVID last year. And then this year it's like, nobody's got a thing. We're all just okay. I guess we just overdosed on our vitamin C and water and everything else. Maybe it really did work. I mean, who knows?
That, and we probably are more cautious and more observant of how we're handling things. So,
Mm.
like,
You think?
interaction with
Yeah.
people. I do think so. I definitely see. Yeah, I see people. You still have people who are hugging and shaking hands. You still have that, but I think people personal hygienes have actually improved in general.
Probably so. Probably.
Okay,
I-
let me ask you this.
Yep.
Let's use InfoComm, or let's use any public place like a Starbucks or a Pete's or wherever. Do you see hand sanitizer anymore?
Sometimes, yeah,
Do you
Not
see
like they used
hand
to.
sanitizer
Yep.
stations?
I do.
I'm
Not like
seeing
it
less
used to
and
be.
less,
Yeah, not like it
I'm-
used to be. Like
and
that.
I'm
It
seeing
was
them
funny.
empty.
Yeah, I remember I'd left the booth for like a short period of time, which I hadn't done at when I was working the Hetma booth, and I was going around. And I remember I remember shaking a lot of people's hands. I was like, you know what? I really just want to disinfect real quick, and I couldn't find it. I mean, I ended up going to the bathroom and just washing my hands, like we would
Yeah.
normally do. But yeah, I went looking for hand sanitizer and I didn't see it right away. I'm
So
sure
I
it was
thought-
there somewhere, but
Yeah, I brought this up because we had a post InfoComm show today. And I said, because we had, our Wavecast Wi-Fi all set up, we had different channels so you could see the displays and things. And they were saying, hey, did people use, because you had different earpieces, headphones and things. And I said, every time I asked somebody if they wanted to hear and you know, they could hear the latency and things like that, it was like, no, I'm okay. And I said, was that because of maybe COVID? I mean, we weren't sanitizing the headphones or earpieces, so maybe people were feeling a little creepy about it that, hey, I haven't seen you do anything and I'm not going to put on what, you know, several other people have.
I could definitely see that. I actually, to tell you the truth, I don't think I use any of the boobs I went to. I don't think I put any of their stuff on. And I will admit that never crossed my mind. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not doing this because of COVID or anything. It was more of I didn't feel a need to like some of I'll admit I didn't go to many booths that had that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
the ones I did it's just I already knew, so I didn't need to spend that resource to listen to it, and because I already knew what it was going to sound like.
Yeah. I just thought, you know, a real big difference from where we used to have the hand sanitizer stations and you know, things like that. But I'm even seeing out in public now, even in front of elevators, the stations are all empty. Nothing's being refilled, nothing's being considered. So it's like all of a sudden now we've bypassed COVID and the pandemic, and well, we're back to normal. We're all meeting and this and that, but we're not taking safety into a consideration.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the other thing. Do we still need to consider this is it still a public health emergency? Because I feel like that's the other thing, is that it's been downplayed, and even here in New Jersey, it's not like what it used
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
You know,
I say
and I feel like
no.
we were always one of the more strict states as far as that was concerned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
New
you guys
Jersey was
were.
pretty strict, but also I think going on what Nancy was saying, I wonder how much of it is instead of, you know, you need to protect me, it's people taking the responsibility in their own hands. You know,
Mm.
like Tim said, he went looking for hand sanitizer or, you know, the bathroom to go wash your hands. Like I think people are purposely or even subconsciously doing things to make sure that they're taking care of their health and not expecting others to do. They're not going, oh, well, you should have hand sanitizer here. Oh, you should be providing this or providing that, blah, blah, blah. I think people are more taking ownership of it.
Well, I think it's so ingrained, you know, into us at this point that, you know, it's like, oh, make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds, make sure you use hand sanitizer. You know, we've been doing this same routine for 3+ years at this point. It's like, yeah, it becomes habit after a while. So, you know, and maybe that's why. Maybe you're right, James, that our general hygiene as a community is better. You know, it's even though, yes, where there was more shaking of hands and more hugs and things like that, you know, we're cleaner for it, you know, as opposed to, and yeah, I mean, no one came with COVID, and, you know, we managed to avoid a super spreader like last year. So
Yeah. This could
Mm.
be a whole nother podcast episode, Tim.
I think
good.
so.
Yeah,
I do
this is a
too.
great discussion we
Yeah.
have going on here.
I'm happy. I'm happy that not a lot of people are sick or any. That's great, because it means
Oh,
we.
yeah, no, it's
I
great.
think that means we've kind of moved past it, or we've all built up enough immunities and or taking better care of our hand washing skills or whatever the case may be. I'm just so much happier it is the way it is
Yeah.
this year versus even last year. I thought people were still kind of scared. So I'm so much happier this year.
So yeah, so well, and if your travels lead you anywhere this summer, you know, make sure you take care of yourself and keep yourself.
Yep.
You know, if you need to bring, if you feel comfortable and you need to bring your hand sanitizer, you know, bring the little bottle with you or whatever it might be. Or just keep an eye out for bathrooms. There you go. But yeah, I think we'll wrap up. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. We'll wrap up here, and we'll leave this off. So yeah, we won't be recording on July 4th, just so everybody knows, but there is a very special episode that'll come out on July 10th. So I'm not going to say what, because I don't want to be the one that spoils it, but it'll be a long anticipated waited episode. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Uh-oh. Dun dun dun.
we'll make somebody very happy that this episode will come out. So,
Or will we?
or will we? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I think we will.
I think we will too. Yes. So thank you to the crew. Thank you to all of our listeners. So like I said, stay safe this summer if you're traveling. And we'll be back though. So we're not going off for the summer. So we'll still be recording. So keep an ear out. And as always, until our next adventure.
Bye all.